I didn't expect this, but this could be one of the most exciting phones of the year. Alright mates, this is Motorola Signature, a phone that hasn't received enough attention and credit, although it might be one of the best slim flagship phones of 2026. The problem with slim phones, mostly known from Apple and Samsung, is that to reach that slimness, those phones sacrificed too much, too many vital features. The batteries were rubbish, the cameras were downgraded or even lacking one of the major features like a telephoto lens, maybe some other sacrifices like the highest price. But this Motorola Signature seems to sacrifice nothing. It has pretty big battery for such a slim phone. It absolutely has all the camera lenses, including a dedicated 3x telephoto lens, which produces astonishing, just stunning photos. And it has many other very flagship features, so let's have a proper look at it. Right, we know that it's a slim phone, but how exactly slim is it? For that purpose, I'll compare it to my Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, and you see the difference is considerable. It's quite a big difference. However, in just sheer numbers, Motorola is 7mm, Pixel is 9mm, so only 2mm, but they make the difference. And it not only does it look so different, it feels very, very different. It feels much thinner than the Pixel. In terms of the weight, let's put it this way. By the way, they're absolutely identical in size, 6.8 inches in diagonal. Okay, this one weighs 220 grams, Motorola 180 something, so almost 40 grams difference, 40 bloody grams. But although this is much lighter, it has 5200 mAh against versus 5000 mAh, so larger battery, 40 grams lighter. It's the miracle of a tech. But on the other hand, it doesn't sacrifice any protection, any toughness. Not only does it have IP68, but also IP69. So in normal words, Motorola can go to a dishwasher, Pixel can't. I don't even imagine a reason why would you fancy put your phone in the dishwasher, but this one withstands high pressure water jets. And actually it's the first slim and light phone in my experience that I really like to hold. It's so delightful to hold it, majorly because of the back plate material. They call it with some unbearable words like linen inspired or twill inspired. It's some sort of fabric. Of course, it's some composite materials, not the real fabric. It's textured, so no fingerprints or smudges at all. So nice to hold. Grippy, absolutely grippy, not slippery at all. So I just adore how it feels and looks in the hand. The screen is very ever so slightly curved on all four sides, ever so slightly that it doesn't bother me. Usually I just hate curved screens like on Realme phones, for example, but here very slight curves on the sides. Yeah, I feel it, I really feel it that Pixel is absolutely flat, but this one is ever so slightly curved, but it's so nice to hold. Yeah, this linen like material is just stunningly pleasant to your palm, to your fingers, to your touch. So I love the feel and appearance. So what's inside? Starting with the chip, it's Qualcomm Snapdragon S Gen 5. Yeah, you heard me correctly. I didn't say the magic word elite because there's non-elite in it. Only 8 Gen 5. What's the difference versus the elite Gen 5? It's a weaker GPU. Does it affect gaming? Yes, it does. We'll talk about that later on. The system is Android 16, and that's the first, I believe, Motorola's flagship, promised to be updated for 7 years. So 7 years of promised updates. I haven't received none so far. We'll see on the updates. There is no word on internet about Android 17 coming up timeline. Maybe a bit later, but in complete darkness with the updates. The screen is gorgeous. Not only is it an LTPO, but also it goes up to 165 Hz. We'll talk on the screen separately. The memory, latest and fastest, 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5X. That's the first time in this application. I don't see the memory RAM and storage specification, but it's LPDDR5X and UFS 4.1, latest and faster. The cameras are just marvelous, all of them, absolutely. I'll show you the cameras example, and I'll talk you on through the cameras. The battery, even more than claimed on the official spec list, 5250 mAh. Does it last long? Yeah, it could be day and a half, even 2 days phone if you don't game a lot. Everything else is not so. Yeah, all the sensors are here for proper gaming. Everything else is not interesting at all. Which version of Bluetooth do we have? Disabled. Wi-Fi, is it 7? Yeah, Wi-Fi 7. So the hardware is top-notch apart from non-elite processor, but it majorly doesn't affect the daily usage. The internals are just great. The screen is one of the highlights, the advantages of this phone. This is 6.8 inches, so quite a large screen, being quite a wide screen, 19.8, so basically it's 20 by 9, not 21 by 9, so it's wide enough, quite dense in pixels, 450 pixels per inch, so you won't see any separate pixels. Not only is it an LTPO going from 1 Hz, and it does so, it goes down to 1 Hz, up to 120 in interface and in most apps. I'd say in all apps, but in selected games it can go up to 165 Hz. The only small caveat, it doesn't have nothing between 120 and 165. I wish it had 144, because some games combined with this 8 Gen 5 chip can't go up to 165, only to 144, but it won't happen. If a game supports 144, it will run on 120 FPS, but that's the first time I've seen on any phone that it honestly and explicitly say that in any general scenario, being smart or balanced, or even switch to hyper smooth, which usually on any other phone shows up to 165, but that doesn't happen. This one, honestly say, in any scenario it only goes up to 120, and only in some games the game time, which is the gaming assistant, can override this 120 Hz to up to 165, but only in selected games. I'll show you later. The brightness is again stated up to 6000 nits, which is bonkers. You won't see it in practice in any scenario, even outdoors. I'd say it doesn't even specify the global brightness, but I'd say it's up to 2000 nits. Overall, the screen is gorgeous. specifically being that white, bright, and having that LTPO embedded in games. We'll talk about them later, but no, just no claims, no remarks on the screen. It's beautiful. System. I really expected the Motorola OS or Motorola system to be quite a spitting image of the Google's Pixel S, as it was in good old times when Motorola phones provided quite a Google-like or clean Google experience. But something has changed. For starters, yes, the system from the beginning might seem quite clean, and it is quite clean. There are no those Chinese apps like AliExpress, Temu, but there is some fair share of the rubbish apps, as I call them. Yeah, many people use Facebook, Instagram, and so on and so forth. But why would I have them from the beginning? I can download them at any time. So, not many of them, but quite a number of redundant apps, and the Google Suite. It's the fullest Google app suite that I've seen on a phone. At least 20 of apps from Google, quite too many to my liking. Next, the personalization. Yes, we've got the personalization toolkit. There are set of themes to play with, some wallpapers and other things, but what I failed to find is to get my icons to be monocolor or monochrome to follow the wallpaper and the system style. The colors only apply to the notification and quick toggles, this shade, and to the settings application. There is no way I can redraw my icons to be monochrome or monocolor to follow the wallpaper style and color. That's I really miss, but I found one extremely useful feature coming from Pixel OS, and that's an ability to pause any app and get yourself a digital detox. You see, I'm pausing the Facebook and LinkedIn, and now I can't interact. Yeah, I can unpause it, but you won't receive any notification. You can't just launch the app. So very useful thing to get digitally detoxed. The AI. Yeah, now we need to talk about the AI. The Motor AI consists of two. Yeah. I'm laughing. I'm getting to that. The reason why I'm laughing, of two major sections. There's take notes, ask a search, get some updates of your notifications. That's quite useful, but the major section that you see straight away as you enter the Motor AI is the playlist studio, where you can create your music playlist, but it's bound to Amazon Music. Why? Why on earth only Amazon Music? Why not YouTube Music? Why not Spotify or anything else? I don't have Amazon Music, but I need to have it in order to create a playlist. What a bollocks. Gimmick stuff. The Image Studio, it does absolutely the same what Gemini does. Even the free version of Gemini, you can, for example, create a wallpaper based on your photos, not the description, which I'd love to have, just describe what I want to see in my wallpaper and get one. But no, you need a photo. So when I tried to create wallpaper based on this beautiful photo, that's a sea view, a beach. So now it gets to create a wallpaper, and it takes some time. and the result is hilarious. What's that? That's bollocks. It's nothing like the photo. I gave it. Pure bollocks. Useless. And next thing, create an avatar. Yes, I'd love to have an avatar, for example, for my YouTube account. Pick a photo. That's a photo of mine. Confirm, and now again it takes some time. Even the processor is quite powerful, but it takes its time to think about it. And the avatar, let's see what it, yeah, it creates. This man is nothing, absolutely nothing like me. Again, this Motorola AI needs much more work to be done. And the other features, for example, the Motorola Security app provides a number. I'm just lost in that vast number of the features, but what I really use is the app lock. It's the ability to lock any selected apps with your fingerprint. What I use it for, sometimes I can give my phone to my children, but I don't want them to download any and install any app from the Play Store. So I want my Play Store to be locked with my fingerprint, but it's not in the list. The list of the apps able to be locked is quite weird. Games, this Adobe PDF editor, and some other bollocks apps. Again, I see very little value from that Motorola Security. Other features, for example, the AOD. Yes, there is AOD, absolutely fully functioning AOD on this phone, but I can only turn it on and off. That means that it will be on, the lock screen will be on with these all the things and the fingerprint, the weather and some other data, the notifications, even at night when I want my phones, all my phones to be pitch black. I want a black screen at night, but there is no shadow for always on, only on or off. So overall, the Motorola OS, if you fancy, seems to me quite half-baked. That's at max half-baked. It needs much further development, much work to be done on. System updates. It's the first time with Motorola phones when Motorola promises 7 years of the system updates, which sets it on par with giants like Google and Samsung. So 7 years of updates is promised for Motorola Signature. For the couple of weeks I've got this phone, I've received no updates, even no patches. And currently it runs on Android 16, which is absolutely fine. Many other manufacturers still preparing the Android 17 updates. The problem is information. What I mean is I've failed to find a trustworthy channel like the Motorola Community app, Motorola Forum, to find the information on the updates timeline, at least with the next version, Android 17, with where I can apply for Android 17 beta testing. There is a Lenovo forum, only the web version, forums.lenovo.com, with the Motorola section in it, where I see some requests from casual or random users and replies from some early Motorola support representative. Eli very well might be an AI agent, very vague replies, so the information is the problem. There is no official timeline. I haven't seen any source, any website, official website. There are some rumors on resources like Gizmo China and sort of that, where they say that some of the Motorola phones will receive the Android 17, but there is no official channel where I can interact with the Motorola support team and other users in terms of the support and updates. I can't even apply for Android 17 beta as there is no official channel for that. So hopefully I'm too skeptical and everything will be fine, but Motorola needs more close cooperation to be more friendly with us users. Now, gaming. There are good news and there are not so good. Can I call them neutral news? Okay, good news and neutral news. As I said, the screen supports up to 165 Hz, which in games, in selected games, supports up to 165 FPS, and yeah, in number of games, not many of them probably, but in certain games, the phone goes up to 165 FPS. You see it clearly. Luckily, there is an FPS counter. Oh, I'm done. Okay, 165. Not in many titles, but there are titles supporting 165 FPS. Oh, and the sound on this phone is made in cooperation with Bose. Do I pronounce it correctly? So Bose. So the speakers are just the sound, not the speakers themselves, but the sound is just stunning. It's awesome. I love the sound. There is a side panel, the gaming assistant, where you can adjust your gaming settings starting from brightness and you can even set the specific FPS display refresh rate 165 Hz, which gives you 165 FPS again. So you can definitely play at 165 FPS, and that's awesome. I love playing on this phone. That's one of very few phones. Okay, now let's exit this game. This is one of the very few phones which I love playing on. To me, the normal bar style phones, or slab phones as they call it these days, are too little. Yeah, they are not big enough for me to play. I prefer to play on a tablet, or at least on a folding phone, but I digress, sorry. And the neutral news, or not so good news, is that in Call of Duty, for example, the limit for FPS is only 120, not even 144. And yeah, with the Snapdragon 8 series chip, I'd love to have at least 144, but we only have 120. I mean, only sounds ridiculous. 120 stable, uninterrupted FPS. What takes it so long? All right. Yeah, 120. That's still very high FPS, but with the again 8 Snapdragon 8 series, I'd love to have at least 144. Does it drop down to lower numbers? No, it doesn't. Okay, who's here? Okay, what do I do now? Yeah, you see, steady. Oh, I was shot. Okay, 120, stable, steady, doesn't drop down, and I really love that. Let me get this enemy down. Hey, 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 where are you? I want some gun. I don't want to use a knife. Okay, 120 in Call of Duty. In Asphalt 9, I won't even bother you. Asphalt 9, or Asphalt Legends as it's called nowadays, supports 120. Okay, just for reference. I love this gaming assistant. Yeah, you see, you can switch the FPS meter on or off. You can even have it show only the FPS. It's fine either way. So playing on this phone is really absolutely delightful. High quality, 120 FPS. So for gaming, these phones absolutely suits. One of the best gaming experience with the awesome sound. You see, Dolby Atmos sound. So I really enjoy playing on this phone. And of course, the cameras, it's very simple. Cameras are top notch, top flagship level. I'm amazed, I'm astonished, I'm fully captured by the quality of the photos and probably the videos, but majorly the photos. Rarely do I take videos, do I record videos. Starting with the physical characteristics, so the size of the main sensor here is 1/1.28, so ever so slightly larger than on the pixels, so very big sensor, very close to 1-inch sensor. And the telephoto has the physical size of 1/1.95, so again larger than on the Pixel Pro 9 series and Pixel Pro 10. Only this year the Pixel 11 Pro introduced the same telephoto size as on the Motorola, so ever so slightly larger than 1/2 inch. That's a very big 1/2 inch. It's quite a large sensor for a telephoto. The ultra wide is good. I'm not very much bothered with ultra wide photos, videos, so the sensor is pretty much conventional, 1/2.7 inches probably. But the photos are just stunning. The video, given the almost like sub flagship chip, video can go up to 8K 30, and 8K is only supported by the main and telephoto lenses. But 4K 30 or 60 with the, you see, with the Dolby Vision is supported across all the board, across all lenses. And I found that, to me, 4K 30 with, of course, Dolby Vision works out the best way. I love it the most. And just for reference, I'll show you all my photos and videos that I've taken for this review in a bit, but just for reference, that was the first day I got this phone a couple of weeks ago, and I immediately took a sample, just a sample, sorry, photo. That's in my room, so that's indoors. Both photos are 10x, and I was absolutely caught off guard because I see much more details on the Motorola, even though the optical zoom range here is 3x, here is 5x, so it's much closer. It's only 2 times of the optical range on the Pixel, and far from optical size on the Motorola, and still I see more details there. That's probably the sharpening, AI, and all that bollocks, but I don't care. I like the quality, at least 10x, and many other ranges on the Motorola more than I do on my Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, and that's the Pro phone. So here I clearly see more details. So bottom line, these cameras are absolutely flagship level, top notch.
4K 30 FPS Motorola Signature 0.5 2x. Okay. Oh, 3x, yeah. Optical zoom range looks just stunning. 6x. Whoa. Same grade as 3x. I'd say 10x. Whoa. At 4K 30 FPS Dolby Vision 10x, I really like it. Maximum zoom 20x, a little jittery, but overall 20 okay, but the best is to record video up to 10x.
So what's my overall take on this Motorola Signature? It's simple, I'm in love with this phone. I bought it for someone else, but I really want it for myself. Everything in it, from the moment I took it in hand, even though I'm against slim phones, but this feels so premium, so great in hand. To screen, to gaming experience, to battery life, yes, this, not even having the largest battery, can be your 2 days phone if you don't game much or game little. This can be a 2 days phone, and the cameras are just at another level. So everything in it is absolutely fantastic, except for the software. It feels like it's halfway made. So yes, Motorola needs to put further work, further effort to get its software matured, but all in all, if you come across a good, like an attractive price, I've got this one, half a terabyte, for around 500 euros. So if you get it at a bargain price, it's a no-brainer. It's an absolutely flagship phone. Take it without any second thought. It will serve you well, even better probably than Google Pixel Pro phones. That's it. Was nice seeing you all. Cheers.